Spurs. So Ange Postecoglou has left Celtic to join Spurs. We had on, just before you came back, we had Neil Lennon on, Sam.
Okay.
We asked Neil Lennon, obviously, with his Celtic connections, and he said, absolutely not. Ange stays at Celtic. But you at the time, Tim, you were like, yeah, I'm not sure. And, well, you got it.
Well, I just had an inkling that they would quite like to talk to Ange. Now, listen, they've gone for a few other managers, it looks like, beforehand, but it looks like it's fell into his lap. And good luck to him. You know, he's 58, is he now? You know, he's had a career mostly in Australia. He's done well, and he's done very well at Celtic. And now he's come to the big league, and this is the acid test. He would find it as a culture shock, Sam would tell you. There's no gimme games. You know, anyone can beat anyone, especially when you're at Spurs. You know, you can play the bottom of the league side and they will give you a game. Top of the league's very difficult. So he's going to come in with an attacking style of football, which is a brand of football, what he plays at Celtic. But you've got 4 games a year, without being too disrespectful to that league. It is not a very competitive environment. But the Premier League is the ultimate test. So it's a brave one from Tottenham's point of view, but they've tried to go safe before with the Contes and Mourinho's, and it hasn't worked. So why not roll the dice? And they've certainly done it this time. So I wish him well. He looks like a good guy and a nice personality, very straightforward. First and foremost, they need to get the recruitment right. You can't win anything without players. They talked about how good his recruitment was. A lot of Japanese guys go into Celtic, but they're at a different level to what you need in the Premier League. So, you know, perhaps you can go to Japan and bring some players in to play in the Scottish League, but you're fishing in a different pond here to be able to fish around and bring players into the Premier League. So it'd be interesting to see how he copes with that. He's going to need help, and hopefully his biggest appointment, we just talked about it, will be the sporting director who's going to sit alongside him and help him bring in some players, what he can develop into a team. First question must have obviously been, is Harry Kane staying?
Yeah, absolutely. I was just going to bring that up.
And then he's got a chance. I mean, he finished 8th last season. I mean, you cannot go into Tottenham at a better time. And I mean that from a manager's point of view, because he's only got to finish better than 8th to finish in Europe. And he's a success. Now, what is the objective? When he sat down with Daniel Levy, and I know what Daniel would have said to him, we want to be Champions League. Now, realistically, Liverpool had a year off. Chelsea can't get any worse than they possibly did.
No.
Newcastle are going nowhere. You got Man United look like they're improving. You got Arsenal improving. Man City, we know all about them. It's going to be very difficult to finish in the Champions League. So it is, if that's the objective and the criteria to keep his job, then he'll be out of a job very soon.
It's never going to be easy, but when you come down into this league, it hits you like a ton of bricks. And obviously, Stevens felt the weight of that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, less than, 18 months in, he's lost his job, you know. And I think that, you know, that's a huge ask. The thing about Spurs, obviously, is now, is what, as he met his demands and as he got his own contract to coach or manage it in his own way, and I think that, you know better than me, but I think that is somewhat, or has been with other coaches, somewhat restricted in terms of what's needed and now. And I'm really disappointed, really, in Tottenham's recruitment, you know, because who influenced the recruitment recently? Did Daniel really give up and let the managers at the time get a few more of the players that they wanted, or did he stick to his usual guns on the fact that he's set up this you know, analysis recruitment scenario years and years ago?
Yeah.
And is that really working? We all know it's working beautifully at Brighton and Brentford, but they run 2 totally different systems in terms of, we should all find out a bit more about that if we want to move forward.
Yeah.
So that's the big question. His first big moment is his influence on Tottenham's players, and what is he going to go in there? Because you need to be a big character.